Hey everyone, this is Catch 'em All Collectibles. Today I have a small 13 card CGC return to show you. You'll see right here to start it off, I've got a 5 card Masaki set. This is actually one of 2 enclosed in the order, so the bulk of this return is the Masaki set, which many will be familiar with. But I'll give a brief overview of the history of it and how these cards came about. Something interesting you'll note here, I have these in ascending order right now, but kind of happened by coincidence. But I got a set here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So seeing this, I just thought it might be interesting for some people to look over each card and just see. I know that CGC and PSA treat damage and heavy play, heavy wear differently. With PSA, you can kind of turn any card into a PSA 1 by just folding it, creasing it substantially. And the slightest edge issue or corner issue, the infamous Masaki marks, those will put you right in the 5 to 7 territory, generally a 6. And then I've never really been able to understand the PSA 2 to 5 range, really. There's so much variability. I mean, the lower on the scale you go at either company, there's a lot of variability, but I think CGC will just tend to have a more fleshed out range in that lower area. You won't get such a kind of a bimodal distribution with ones being so heavily slanted towards on certain cards. And that's something, I guess, I don't know how worth it would be, but there is kind of a weird meme, almost a meme premium on PSA 1s, but you will find that many cards that are PSA 1s would grade in the CGC maybe 3 to 5 range. So theoretically, there could be opportunity there for certain cards just to grade with CGC instead of PSA if you think that you might be able to get a premium just given that it's a higher grade. And I guess that's also a word of caution to certain people, because don't necessarily equate a CGC 4 to a PSA 4. Each company, I mean, neither's right, neither's wrong. They just have their own grading benchmarks, and they have their own thresholds for what's allowed at each grade. So you'll see here with this Machamp, it's got 3.5 for corners, 4.5 for edges and surface. So this one had a lot going on that brought it down to a 4, but you'll see substantial issues along all the edges and corners, indentations. The hollow is actually clean in comparison, I guess. But yeah, you've got issues of all kinds. There's actually something going on there, some kind of a stain. These cards were very well loved, you'll find in this submission. I just submitted them. One, I kind of want to see, to learn for myself what it takes to get each CGC grade. I've got a lot more experience submitting the PSA over the years, so it's an interesting exercise for me just to see. You've got a substantial issue there, crease. So this one was a surface 4, corners 5, edges 5.5. The centering on cards such as this really doesn't mean much. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of eye appeal factor in there, but the grade is going to be focused on the other 3 with cards this damaged. So this just gives you a little feel for what low condition CGC cards will look like. But yeah, the Masaki set, I've got it pulled up here on my computer. One thing I really like coming from coins, where mintages of each year and mint mark of each release, there's like a known production for each coin. you run into certain things, and I won't get too deep into it, but with older coins made out of silver, a lot of them were melted down over the years, and there's no way to know how many of them were melted down. Similarly, there's no way to know how many cards were lost to the dumpster. This one's got a little Masaki mark going on too. No way to know how many were lost to the dumpster, thrown out by the teacher in school, thrown out by parents when you moved away. This one has Surface 6. Something going on there. But anyways, the original amount, we do know the intended distribution at least. As with anything, there's no way to know if extra copies were made, how many, if every one intended for distribution was actually claimed. But whatever the case, I've got the numbers right here. 39,000 Alakazam, 36,000 Gengar, 29,000 Machamp, 22,000 Golem, and 21,000 Omastar. And where these came from, these numbers, they came from I think it's called the 2000 Pokemon Card Official Book. It's a Japanese book. It's been kind of nicknamed the Silver Bible by some. Here's the second Masaki set. It's also well loved, I would say. The Alakazam, actually, quite a decent grade there for these cards, but I'll walk you through these a little quicker just because we kind of saw the range with the first set. But yeah, I really like the Masaki cards. Interesting release, the way that it worked. You'll note, anyone who played the games, these four, the way that you evolve them in the game, you had to trade with a friend: Graveler, Haunter, Machoke, and Kadabra. You traded them. When you traded over your Graveler, your friend wouldn't get Graveler, they'd actually get the Golem because it would evolve during the trade. And then for whatever reason, Lord Helix, I guess, they threw an Omastar just to get a fifth one. Kabutops didn't get any love. They just put Omastar in. But yeah, you'd have to send the previous evolution along with the Bill's PC card in the mail. This one, I think this one earned its 3 surface with all these creases. So you'd mail those in, and then returning in the mail, you'd get the evolved form, just as if you were trading with your link cables and your Game Boys. So pretty interesting history for this card. Really cool. They're not completely unique artworks in that I think there was a web series release for this Gengar artwork. But they are still quite nice artworks. You can see this Alakazam is really nice. I don't see any Masaki mark going on. Generally, it's the back, bottom left, and top right that you'll see. But that one was pretty clean. Yeah, this one, you kind of see it right there. That's part of the Masaki mark. And the way that, I don't have any of them on hand right now, but the way that these were put in their envelopes, there was kind of a piece of the envelope that this would set into. So the top corner and the bottom left corner would be tucked in, and then presumably the years pass by, or when these were going through the mail sorting machines, getting pressed down a little bit, that stressed the edges and put those indentations in. So the last 3 cards here, I did have a spare Masaki Gengar that didn't match with a set. But I've got 2 more Japanese exclusive, quite popular releases. In the Grand Party Trainer Certification card, and the, I believe, I've heard it said both Munch and Monk. I'm not even positive which way, but the infamous Scream painting. This was given out at a museum where they were displaying that art, I believe, in Japan. So I really like, I've only got the Pikachu in this one, but I've got several of the 3 common ones: Eevee, Psyduck, Eevee, Psyduck, and Rowlet. And then I don't have too many, but I do have a couple Mimikyus out as well. But anyways, I'll quickly show you these two. Just some more. Yeah, so this one's actually got, I guess, the best example yet of the, let me see if I can get the proper angle on it. But yeah, so that corner there, that kind of rounded depression, that is classic Masaki mark that you've got to look out for on these. And going back to the difference between PSA and CGC, this one got 7.5 surface, corners, and edges. In my opinion, from my experiences, I think that this benefited numerically from being in a CGC case, because again, in my experiences, this would probably have been an auto PSA 6. It doesn't necessarily mean CGC's wrong or overgrading it. It actually does have an issue there. It just means that these two companies' grading scales are not directly compatible with each other. They're not the same exact thing. This Grand Party has got quite a bit going on. 4.5 surface from all of the undulations to the top of this card. Not really, well, there's a crease there, but I don't know what's going on here exactly. Some, again, well-loved card. Maybe it went into somebody's pocket years ago. But still a beautiful art. You've got your legendary birds. Can't go wrong there. And then the Pikachu got a straight 8.5 on the surface, corners, edges, and then 9.5 centering. So really, really nice card. Pretty solid condition. Anyways, that I guess gives you a little bit of insight if they're new to you, the Masaki releases, and then it gives you, my camera's not the absolute best, but it hopefully provides you a little bit of demonstration of CGC's scale. Most people are generally after 8, 9s, and 10s, but it's just interesting to me, and I think useful to see how the lower end of the scale compares out. And maybe down the line someday I'll do a comparison of side-by-side similarly conditioned Masaki cards in both PSA and CGC cases. But in any case, that's all I had for today. If you found this video interesting or useful, feel free to like and subscribe. If you've got any questions or comments or want to see anything specific down the line, feel free to leave that in a comment below. And I appreciate you checking out the video, and I'll catch you all later.